So I think the worst vibe possible is the Utah Jazz. I know. There's other teams that probably seem worse, but if you think about it, the Utah Jazz are a scrapyard for NBA players. So let's think about Ace Bailey for a second. Why did he not want to go to the Jazz? Why did he not want to go? I can't really tell you why he would have wanted to go to Charlotte. I don't know why he would have preferred to go to the Wizards or not wanted to go to the Sixers. But he didn't want to go to the Jazz, and he wanted to go to the Nets or the Wizards. I can't really tell you why, but I can tell you why he didn't want to go to the Jazz. Because Danny Ainge has ripped the soul out of that team. He's turned it into the scrapyard. He's turned it into the place when you need to go in and get a hubcap for your Honda Civic. You know, teams go there. It's like the junkyard when you need a catalytic converter, okay? When you need a headlight for your specific car. If a team says, oh, we need a 6-man. Oh, we need a center. You go to the Jazz and say, what do you have in the scrapyard? So people saying, Ace Bailey, why wouldn't you want to go there? Why would you sabotage? Why would you sort of self-sabotage and not want to try out, not do a workout for the Jazz? It's because Ace Bailey's like, well, I care about my career. My career means something to me, and I think these first few years of my career, going to a good basketball program is very important. So I think Ace Bailey is wise. Now, Danny Ainge, who doesn't care, Danny Ainge, who, like I said, just sucks the humanity out of basketball, and it's all business, okay? It's all transactions. It's all assets. He sees Ace Bailey and he says, oh, I could not give a shit what this kid wants. His interests, his priorities, his values, who he is, what he even looks like. Irrelevant. He's the best available. I'm taking him. I'm taking him at the 5th pick. Which, okay, cool. I think you're going to have problems. I don't know for sure, but I think it's not wise to take a guy who really doesn't want anything to do with you, okay? It's like a mail-order bride. It's like an arranged marriage, okay? You know this woman doesn't tolerate you. You know she's only here because she has to be. It's going to be bad. So, if I were Danny Ainge, I talked about this on the podcast, or on the Patreon podcast. I talked about this. I don't want to get too far into it because I'm trying to tease y'all. I got to tease, you know. I got to get you to pay for something. Can't give away the milk without making you buy the cow. The cow's the Patreon, and the milk is what I'm about to say. Why did the Sixers, if I'm the Jazz, what Danny Ainge should have done is he should have gone, I think, did the Wizards have the next pick? He should have gone to the Wizards and said, hey, tell you what, we'll do a little pick swap. You take the 5th, we'll take the 6th. You throw in a 2nd round pick. You throw in cash considerations. Throw in something. Get a little something out of it. And if the Wizards say, whatever, screw you, man. Matter of fact, fuck you, man. We don't care. You're not going to take Ace Bailey. He doesn't want to play for you. We dare you. We dare you to take Ace Bailey. Go for it. Go for it, yeah. Doesn't matter to us. We'll take Trey Johnson. That's fine. You go to them and you say, all right, fine. I'll take Ace Bailey. They call back and they say, all right, fine. What do you want? Cash considerations, 2nd round pick? We'll do the pick swap. You do it. If you're the Jazz, you get Trey Johnson. And you get a cheaper rookie scale contract. Not bad. You get a cheaper rookie scale contract and you get whatever value they provided in addition. But instead, Danny Ainge takes Ace Bailey. Not smart. Not smart. If someone doesn't want anything to do with you, the worst thing you can do is take away the freedom they have. If you taking away someone's freedom, they will forever resent you. So I think this is going to go poorly. Do I think Ace Bailey's going to show up to Summer League? This is fucking nuts, dude. My air conditioner kicked on, and then someone's horn across the street is honking like crazy. But you know what? The horn turned off, so it's fine. And I got the voice isolation, so you won't even hear my air conditioning. I'm in a good mood. But that's my theory on this. You know, Colin Sexton doesn't want to be there. He once traded. He was looking for a buyout. John Collins, he's always on the chopping block. Then we got Lauri Markkanen. They're saying, hey, you sit on the bench. You don't get to play. You just get paid. Stay at home. This is a bad vibes team, man. This is an atrocious vibes team. And the reason it's an atrocious vibes team is because no one cares. Everyone's like, it's a scrapyard. What am I going to go show some tender loving care to my busted up Honda Civics in the scrapyard? No, I'm not. Because they're junk. It's a junkyard. And they treat it like a junkyard. It's not a junkyard. This could be a good team. But they treat it like a junkyard. And then the Suns, all right, I could stay on this for a little bit, but really, Matt Ishbia at least has the love for the team, and he wants the team to be good. Is he an idiot? Yeah. I'll go out and say it. Matt Ishbia is an idiot. I think he's kind of a dumb person. You may say, well, how could a dumb person have so much money? They could buy an NBA team because their daddy was smart. Their daddy was rich and he bought them a team. Here you go, baby boy. Here's an NBA team. I think Matt Ishbia, you're smart, you're loyal, and you're smarter than Matt Ishbia. That's my thought. I think Matt Ishbia he wants to be the king of Phoenix. He cares about the team. I admire that. I just don't think he's a very intelligent person. Because now you've traded for Mark Williams. You're not saying, hey, you know, my team isn't good. It didn't work out. It didn't work out with my team. Turns out we're actually bad. Instead, he's saying, no, I still believe we'll trade for Mark Williams and then we'll win a championship. Those words had to come out of his mouth. We will trade for Mark Williams and then we'll win a championship. Everyone in there had to be like, oh my God, I quit. Everyone in the front office had to be like, I quit. I thought this guy was smart. I'm gonna go get a job anywhere else. I've lost my love for basketball listening to this man and his hopeless ideas. But he loves the team and he gives away the product for free. Suns Live. It's a free product. You can watch every Suns game. And I admire that about Matt Ishbia. I just don't think he's smart. And the vibes on that team are absolutely trash. Thank God they got KD out of there. But Bradley Beal, really what my point was, Bradley Beal's there. Stinking up the joint. Just energy, dude. You got Bradley Beal energy and you're bound to it. That's another thing. You take away someone's freedom. Everyone in there has to be like, I hate him. I hate him because I'm not free. I'm bound to Bradley Beal. I am chained to him. He's taken my freedom to do what I want with my organization in his no trade clause. There has to be. I imagine the practice facility of the Phoenix Suns is like pulsating with rage and hate and negative energy. It's like a throbbing wound of hate. Where do I come up with this stuff? New Orleans Pelicans. Yo, bro, how'd you get Jordan Poole? How'd you get the Jordan Poole video? Bro, you know what it is? Little trick. I've been doing a lot. Some of you may hate me for this, but you didn't know if I didn't tell you. Little image to video with the help of Gemini AI. I use it in a lot of different stuff, but you don't notice. A lot of people don't notice. One person called me out on my main channel for using AI because I got a little bit sloppy with it, but then I stopped doing it. But photo to video, it's such an impressive product. It's the most impressive thing I've ever seen. Granted, this isn't even a good one, but it's pretty good, isn't it? It's still pretty good. Then I turned it into an MP4. I turned it into a GIF. It's amazing. I'm one of those AI dorks, I guess. But The Pelicans got a little bit of a... What I like about the Pelicans, and I think they sort of have a negative vibe just because I think Zion, I think people sort of resent him. I have to imagine there's a lot of resentment towards him. DeJounte Murray seems pretty disenchanted with the team. From what I've heard, he was one of the guys that said the facilities are the worst in the league, and I've heard that from multiple sources. It's just not a great place to play. Sure, you get paid, but in terms of amenities and things they have at the practice facility, doctors and stuff, it's the worst in the league. And he thought it wise to say that out loud. So I don't think the team's bad. And again, I talked about this on the podcast, so I don't want to give y'all suckers more milk for free. How about you go buy some titties on the Patreon? How about you go buy some cow tits on the Patreon? So everyone's upset with Joe Dumars trading away that pick with the pick swap with the Bucks next year for Derek Queen. I don't hate it because I think it's Joe Dumars saying, yeah, I think this team's good. I think it's going to be good. I think that pick that we're trading away is going to suck. And I think Derek Queen, I think he's got it going on. I think this guy can ball. I'm into it. So are you going to get upset for a guy who wants to come in and is passionate about a player and is really sold on a player and thinks the team can be good? Do you want to make fun of him? Do you want to call him an idiot? No. So chances are Pelicans are going to suck and the Bucks are going to suck, and that pick's going to be really good. And we're going to laugh at Joe Dumars again and say, look what you did. Look what you did. Look. That pick's the 5th pick overall. And Derek Queen turned out to be an ass. He's dog piss, dude. Joe Dumars, you're stupid. I should be an NBA GM. I'm smart. They should have hired me instead of Joe Dumars. That's what we're all going to say. That's how we talk. That's how we say it in our heads. So I admire Joe Dumars for saying, you know what? I like this guy. I like this kid. I like the cut of his jib. I'm taking Derek Queen, and I'm going to give the Atlanta Hawks next year's first-round pick for that pick swap because I think he's got the juice. I respect it. I don't hate it. And the Raptors. And then from what I remember reading about, Pascal Siakam said there were some dark days in Toronto before he got traded, and being traded to the Pacers reignited his love for basketball. From all I can gather, and now with Masai Ujiri being canned, and people do not want to play in Toronto. They don't want to go through customs every time they have an away game or they're on a road trip. They also don't want to get taxed to shit with the federal income tax of Canada. I get it. So at this point, Brandon Ingram signed there. I am not a Brandon Ingram fan. I think he's a good basketball player, but I don't think he plays winning basketball. I'm not really into it. And they just wifed him up for 4 years, I believe. Haven't even seen him out on the court. Scottie Barnes, I think he's one of the guys that's probably, I don't know, who you guys, what, Franz Wagner or Scottie Barnes? Who you taking? Think about that. Some of the guys on these extensions, I'm just thinking Scottie Barnes, good player, but pretty expensive. Then you got Emmanuel Quickley. Did Emmanuel Quickley play this year? There's a gif of him in here, but I don't know not only do I not know if I saw him play, but I don't even know if I listened to a podcast where someone talked about Emmanuel Quickley. Matter of fact, I didn't hear that much about RJ Barrett either. He didn't have a terrible season, though. I have looked at his stats. And they got Grady Dick. There were moments in the season where he looked good. I don't have his stats right in front of me, but from what I've heard, vibes are rough in Toronto. It's all speculation, though. Apparently the Wizards, hey, Ace Bailey wanted to be a Wizard. Go figure. He was ready to be a lizard, dude. He wanted to be there. Man, I was looking at GIFs, and they did Chris Middleton dirty. They did him dirty, bro. I think that's supposed to be Chris Middleton. That is rough. That is mad disrespectful for my man Chris Middleton. Don't even make the cartoon at all if you're not going to make him kind of, somewhat handsome. He doesn't even look like that. So I was even thinking, like, who's even on the Wizards anymore? Kuzma got traded, Poole got traded, and I was like, Malcolm Brogdon, is he there? And I wanted to, then I put Middleton in there because I thought, I know he's there. I don't know how much a part of their future he's going to be there for. So I'm like, what's the vibe like there? CJ McCollum's there after the Poole trade. It's just, and I think Marcus Smart's there. Again, scrapyard. But the thing about the Wizards is, it is a scrapyard, but they also got your man Bilal Coulibaly, who I never hear anyone say anything bad about. They got Sarr. Still a diamond in the rough. We're sort of sanding down that diamond to see if it sparkles. Still in that. And then we got Trey Johnson, who I felt like everyone spoke very highly of. So it's a little bit of an exciting team. It's a young team that's going to continue to tank. And of the vets they have in there, Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, Chris Middleton, CJ McCollum, they aren't the nastiest vets. You know, they're not going to be absolute toxic farts in the locker room. I got a feeling they're all going to sort of try to, create a good energy for the team. So they're not at the bottom. The Miami Heat. I put them on here pretty low because since Jimmy left, the team hasn't been good. They don't really have an identity. I think Jimmy was the whole identity of that team. Even the idea of Bam Adebayo is sort of the epitome of Heat culture. I really only see Bam as the strong figure when he had Jimmy. Because when he doesn't have Jimmy out there, he's sort of the only one left to defend. And I didn't feel the vibe, man. I also didn't feel the vibe from, great season from Tyler Hero, but he was the offensive. He was like, get Tyler Hero the ball. Well, what if we pass it around to another guy? Get him the ball, man. We can't do this without Tyler Hero bombing some stuff. Now, I threw Nikola Jovic in here. And I threw Jaime Jaquez Jr. because those are, even again though, the energy is still kind of bad because these were the guys that were rumored to be in trade packages for Kevin Durant. So everyone on this team has to be like, I don't care. This team, I wish they would have been a little more considerate to make me feel like they cared about me. Listen, I understand it's a business. I understand you do not care about my mental health, emotional health, and physical health. I know I'm really just sort of, you see me as an actual asset. You see me as a glorified copy machine. You see me as a glorified MRI machine. I'm just something for you to move around that isn't liquid, that is something that increases the value of my company. I get it. But could you pretend? Could I not hear my name in the Miami Herald that I'm going to be traded every other week during the offseason? That'd be nice. Do you remember when Hero was on the chopping block when they were trying to get Dame? And then he ceremoniously unfollowed the Heat's Instagram. Now he's their star player. Sorry, Bam. Hornets again. I'm moving up, man. Like we're getting into some decent vibes. I think they're excited about Concanipple. I think he was the guy they wanted. So I always think that's good when there's a draft pick that feels that the draft pick is like, I was their first choice, I was asked to the dance first. They didn't ask anyone else to the dance, which always feels really good. I think that was sort of the story with Chet as the second round pick in 2021. Was it? I think it was 2021. I think 2022. Yep. I think it's nice. So I think Khan's like, yeah, they have plans for me. They want me to be the savior of the beaten, the broken, and the damned. The Charlotte Hornets. They got Miles Bridges, who I think they've sort of... Miles Bridges feels like the cousin at the family reunion who everyone's... Not even the black sheep, but the embarrassment where he's like kind of a good hang. He's a good hang, but you also just sort of feel dirty that he's there at the family reunion because he's family. You don't really know. Do you want to value familial ties over not associating with someone that just so far doesn't align with the way you think a human being should live? Or is it better to be like, well, he's family, but he's also kind of a good hang. So if anyone asks, you're like, yeah, he's family. But in reality, you're like, he's good at basketball and he's a good hang. You know, he shouldn't have beat that lady up, but yeah, he's here. It's not my call to kick him off the team. Then we got Brandon Williams. People seem excited about him. He can shoot. It's rare. And then LaMelo. I put him on the slide, but who knows? He might be traded. He might be out of here. I don't know who would trade for him. I always think about the Zion, LaMelo. Teams need to do that. Teams need to just say, hey, you have a guy that can't stay healthy who's really good. We have a guy who can't stay healthy and is really good. We've grown to really resent our guy. We're assuming you have too. We're assuming that you're pretty bitter about how much money you're spending on this guy who's constantly getting MRIs. What do you say we swap him? At least to get better energy in the locker room. Let us grow to hate the player. Let us grow to hate LaMelo Ball, just as you have. And you can grow to hate Zion Williamson, just as we have. What do you say? A breath of fresh air. That's the phone call I would make if I were Joe Dumars. I would say that. I'd hope at least get a laugh from Mitch Kupchak or whoever owns the Horn. I don't even know. Not Michael Jordan, not Mitch Kupchak anymore. I don't even know who owns it. Why would I know? Why do I know that stuff? Why do I know who owns teams? The Bucks. I don't know, because the Bucks vibes could be good. If Giannis, like I've said this on the podcast, but Giannis might just say, I don't know, I always said that stuff about winning. Like, of course I want to win, but in reality, dude, Milwaukee is my city. I think it's awesome. I like being here. I like the stuff that Milwaukee has to offer, whatever that is. I've been to Milwaukee and it was fun. Maybe he really likes that barcade that's not too far away from the stadium. It's a pretty good barcade. I've been there a couple times. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's like, man, that barcade's really great. I got the high score on Qbert at the barcade, so I better stick around in Milwaukee in case anyone tops it and I got to go regain my high score. He can't stay in Milwaukee. He can't. Do you care about your career, Giannis? So it has to be, Dame's out, Kuz is there, brutal playoffs. Gary Trent Jr. is still sort of probably crying about losing that game 5, I assume. Brook Lopez became a free agent. Bobby Portis probably going to turn down his player option. They're going to have to pay him money. Then you got Kevin Porter Jr., another cousin who's been in jail at the family reunion. But, what are you going to do? What are you going to cause a scene and say, hey, you can't come in the backyard. You can't have any chicken. Unless Kevin Porter comes in and he brought, what's the trump card? What's like, let's say you have a cousin accused of domestic violence, convicted of domestic violence. He comes. And you're like, no, man, no, you can't be here. You're going to kill the vibe. You can't. But he comes, and what food does he have that gets you to say, okay, you can come hang out. You got 15 minutes. Say hi, get out of here. What food does he have? What food does your cousin, the ex-con, have that buys him 15 minutes at the family reunion? That's his contribution. If he had like 40 Jimmy John subs of different varieties, I'd say, all right, get in there. You get an hour. You got an hour and then you're out, and you're not taking the subs with you. That's what I would say to him. I'm gonna stop and start the camera. 1 sec. This is fun. These are fun. These are my favorite ones because I can just sort of riff and I don't have to like watch YouTube videos of how well Zubac can rebound or something. So, all right, the Bulls are up next. I think the Bulls have a good vibe. They got Isaac Okoro. They traded away Lonzo Ball. At least it feels like there's things are in motion. They're putting the team isn't a scrapyard. They're putting stuff together to try to assemble something. They have a plan. I don't think they're going to be terrible. I think Matas Bazulis is going to be good. I forgot about Ayo Dosunmu. I always forget about him. I was like, is he still there? And sure enough, he is there. I must just miss him when he's on the court. Coby White, everyone says that's a good contract. And Patrick Williams, he's the dud. He's the bad bet. He's there, though. And then you got your boy Josh Giddey, who's going to sign his giant extension, his Scottie Barnes level extension. So good for him. Good for Josh Giddey. I don't think the team... I feel hopeful about the team. I imagine the vibes in the team are pretty good. So, don't hate it. Nets, wow, I have them pretty far up here. They got five first-round picks this year in the draft? They dominated. I don't even think anyone's going to come calling for any of those guys. So I think they're just going to rock out those guys and see which ones are good. The Nets are a full-on scrapyard, dude. They're just trying to shave off so they have so much cap space where they're going to sign... You tell me. I have no idea. Even the gifts I have up here, like probably the best player, Cam Johnson's probably going to be gone. Or maybe he's not. I don't know. Nick Claxton, I didn't know, but Nets fans have commented, hey, he is not a fan favorite. We will take him. Take him for anything. Got a bag of hot Cheetos. Got a Taco Bell gift card. Got cinnamon twists. Take Nick Claxton. Take them off our hands. I love cinnamon twists. But you're going to extend Cam Thomas, which is pretty cool. I think the vibes are okay. I think they're fine. I think the team knows who they are. You got Keon Johnson there. You got a lot of young guys on really cheap contracts that are probably having a good time because they're in the NBA still, and they're grateful. And you got Igor Demon. Don't know anything about him. Not going to pretend I do. I think the LA Clippers aren't in a particularly terrible position. Because remember last year, everyone thinks about, Harden fell short, but they took the Nuggets to Game 7. Sure, Harden fell short, but let's remember, last year, everyone thought the Clippers were going to be absolutely terrible, and they weren't. So they actually overperformed. You forgot. Yeah. Now you're remembering, everyone thought the Clippers were going to suck because they didn't re-sign Paul George. It was supposed to be a rebuilding year, and they're actually kind of good. Norm Powell stepped up, and he's still under contract there, I believe. He's not a free agent, is he? No, I think he's still under contract there. I think maybe he has one more year on there. Harden's probably going to pick up his player option. Zubac had a breakout year. I think the Clippers are a good energy team. I think they had a rough end of their season, but overall, I think this is a good energy team. They're in a new stadium. Listen, word around town is the Clippers are the new Lakers. I'm hearing it everywhere. I'm joking. Yeah, wow, Sixers are pretty high up here because I think most Sixers fans, and I imagine the guys in the locker room, this team has every reason to be good. It's make or break for Paul George and Joel Embiid. It's like, man, if you don't have good seasons, if Joel Embiid doesn't play if he doesn't play over 65 games, if he doesn't play over 60 games, people are going to say, he won't even be a joke anymore. It'll be just a sad story. And that's where you don't want to be. You don't want to be a tragedy. You'd rather be a joke than a tragedy. And then, of course, Paul George, dude, I am preying on the downfall. I'm not even joking. I am like preying on this man's downfall. What he represents to me, I think is the opposite of what I represent. I want to be the opposite of Paul George, so I prey on his downfall. It's funny because I love the commentators for the Phillies regional sports broadcast for Sixers games. I think those guys are awesome. It's a chick. It's really the woman that I really like. I don't remember her name, but she is a really good... she's great at her job. Then I like Mike and Spike on the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast, the two biggest Sixers fans there are. So I follow the Sixers a lot. But maybe I have such a disdain for Paul George because I like those guys. I don't know. But it's going to be a big season for them. But I imagine they are excited for the season. McCain's back. Maxey's back. They got that third pick. They got VJ Edgecombe. So I don't think the energy is going to be too terrible. We're about halfway through, I think. Kings. I think the Kings are still excited because the Sacramento Kings fans will rock with the Sacramento Kings regardless. I've been to a game and you can just feel it. It's sort of, when you've been that bad for that long and you've retained a very loyal fan base and you sell out just about every game, it really makes it so that the locker room is always kind of fun. You got DeRozan, you got Monk, you got Keegan Murray, I got Keon Ellis. He's doing the putback there. I think it's a Keegan Murray missed layup with a Keon Ellis dunk. I do like this team, and I imagine they have a lot of fun. And also, there's low expectations for the Kings. That's the beauty about sucking, is people expect you to suck. So when you do have a good season, people are very happy. They're very pleased. And when you do suck, they're not even mad. Not even upset. It's like when when you get wings at Wings Etc. Not Wings Etc. Buffalo Wild Wings. And when you get a bad batch of wings, and you're still, this doesn't work. It doesn't work because Buffalo Wild Wings typically has pretty good wings. The problem is I don't really eat at a lot of restaurants that typically have bad food. So I can't. I got nothing. I got no analogy. Expectations are low. Maybe it's a 7-Eleven taquito, okay? So you go to 7-Eleven and get a taquito. You're eating the taquito with your buddy, and your buddy says, "Man, this taquito is bad." Yeah. You're kind of annoyed with your buddy because you're like, "Yeah, we're eating 7-Eleven taquitos. It's not fine dining, bro." So the Kings are like a 7-Eleven taquito. You eat it, and it is sustenance, and it's kind of good. But every once in a while, you get an amazing one that hasn't been on the roller for very long. And you just don't complain about a bad taquito, because it's assumed that most taquitos you're going to be eating aren't very good. And you're broke. The Lakers, a little bit higher. I think they're still hype about Luka Doncic. They've got a salty Dalton Connect on their team still, and people still believe in Austin Reeves. And the main thing is, I'm going to blow through these, but the main thing is the Lakers still think that they're going to win. The Lakers still think they have enough capital, and they're not too deep into the luxury tax, and their payroll isn't big that they can still make a couple moves to win. That's why the Lakers vibes are good, is because they're delusional. That's my thought on this. I don't think they're very good, but I still think, LeBron hasn't retired yet. Like I said, that moment's going to occur to LeBron where he's going to look around and say, "Oh, man, not good enough." Because there's echelons. And you have to really be on another level to win a championship. You can have a good team. You can have a good team that enables you the ability, and fans know this. You can have a good team that's good enough for you to successfully delude yourself into believing you can win a championship. That's all you want. Give me a little bit of hope. So I think eventually LeBron's going to look around and he's going to be like, he's going to have that moment where the hope is gone. And he's going to say, "I'd like to announce my retirement from the NBA next year because I got to do the LeBron James World War Tour." He's going to love that. Atlanta. Oh my gosh. It's a long list, man. So I think Atlanta is net neutral. They're going to have Jalen Johnson back. I think they're kind of excited about Zachary Shea. They're keeping Trae Young. Trae Young's not going anywhere. I think Trae Young's that, hey, he's he's a stupid baby, but he's our stupid baby. So I think teams call about Trae Young and the package they offer are not good enough. And they're like, "No, we'll just keep our stupid baby. He's really good. Led the league in this and that and this and that and this year. Keep him around." And they got they got that pick from the Pelicans, so they're probably still, probably excited about that. They made a trade. They got Kristaps Porzingis. Seems like there's people that care about. They fired their GM. Landry Jones. Landry Jones, it's not Landry Shamet. There's a backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers that I always mix up with the owner or the GM of the Atlanta Hawks. Is it Landry Jones? I don't remember. This is all for me. Memphis Grizzlies. They traded away Desmond Bane. The Magic made them an offer they can't refuse. And I think the Desmond Bane trade is a line in the sand moment where teams are saying, man, fuck these first round picks. Most first round picks are whatever. If we can trade these first round picks, even if it's 5 of them, to get a guy that we know, if he shoots a 3-pointer, it might go in. We can feel good about it going in. Fuck these first round picks. Take them. We need someone that can shoot a 3-pointer. We thought it was KCP. It won. It wasn't KCP. So I get it. But on the other hand, Memphis, all of a sudden, you got a good vibes team. You've got Bane in there. You know, he's probably one of the most smiley guys on the team. Now he's gone, and everyone's like, oh, wait. That guy was like what made it fun to come into work. Now he's not here. You know, I mean, not the personality hire, but a hire with a good personality. Personality hire always assumes that the person is incompetent, doesn't it? And they were only hired for their personality. So, Celtics, I still think the vibes are good. I think they got the championships. They're still riding high off that. They're still riding high off that championship. Oh, we lost Porzingis. You know what? Fuck that guy in his head cold. I'm swearing a lot now. But seriously, they're probably like, yeah, oh no, we'll miss you, Porzingis. Okay, well, Drew Holiday. Like, oh, yeah, I mean, maybe that contract was a little bit big for that guy, and we're going to suck next year anyway. Good for Portland. He'll have fun there. They seem to really want him. They're probably not too butthurt about that. And they still got Pritchard. They still got Derek White. They're not trading either of those guys. Too valuable of a contract. And I think most of the Celtics guys are sort of excited for what the team's going to be the following year. Not next season, but the next season. So I think they're sort of like, yeah, whatever. We got our championship. And you know what? It'll be nice to have a season off. I think Jalen Brown's out the door. If anyone, I think Brad Stevens is making calls about Jalen Brown. I don't think anyone's picking up. I think people are still hype on the Cavs. I think the Cavs are probably still excited about their team. They just got Lonzo Ball, so they're clearly they're still not, they're clearly think they're one piece away, which is kind of nice. I think they're going to move on from Jarrett Allen, and they're going to come back. And, Donovan Mitchell wasn't downtrodden. He said, yeah, he swore at the commentators, didn't he? Not commentators. What do you call the people in the room? The press. He said, you guys, you bet y'all think we are done, huh? Bet y'all think we are going to give up. We're going to go home and cry, but we ain't going to go home and cry. He said something like that. So it's nice to know a guy isn't demoralized. I imagine the vibes are good, and the team is good. They all just sort of had a, rough ankle week. They had a bad cartilage week. They had a little bit of tendinitis and got bounced by the Pacers. Kenny's coming off his first Coach of the Year season, and it was his first season. Again, they are in the second apron, though. That tends to put a damper on. Of course, Dan Gilbert is the second richest owner in the NBA, or at least he was. Now that other teams have, I don't know how rich some of the new owners are, but my point is, Dan Gilbert, one of the owners that doesn't probably care that much about second apron. Warriors, I think the energy is still good. I'm going to blow through this, man. I think it's fine. I think they're going to get rid of Kevon Looney. I think they're over Kevon Looney. I think they've moved on from him. I think they've sort of kept him around for so long as a sentimentality. He's been there for, I believe, 3 of the championships. But he is a free agent. I don't know really what's going to become of him, but he's not probably going to get the money that he wants from the Warriors because they are up in that tax, brother. And I think Jimmy is happy being there. We'll see what it's. I mean, they got to save Steph for the playoffs. That was really where they went wrong. Is I don't think they would have made it to the Western Conference Finals or anything. And plus, Steve Kerr just hired his son. You know what always happens when someone hires their son? When the best qualified person happens to be blood, happens to be their lineage, it's usually a good hire. Either way, I imagine the players don't care. I imagine everyone that's a Warrior is excited to be a Warrior. I think Mavs energy's good. AD's going to be back. Kyrie just signed an extension. I don't know if he's going to play it all this season. I don't think he is. I think that's sort of the new trend now is if guys tear a tendon or they tear a ligament, they just take an entire season off. That's just how it's been. I mean, Coby came back and he ripped it again. But I got a feeling Kyrie Irving is not going to come back. I got a feeling he's going to say, even if the doctor's like, yeah, you're looking good, you can give it a shot, Kyrie's going to say, I'll wait. I want to save all my energy for the following season. He's getting old. I understand. He's like, dude, I'll just get that. I'm not going to play. I don't think we're going to win a championship. Cooper Flag will be a little bit better, and I just won't play. I'll get my money, and I'll watch. I think so. He's too old to be passionate about basketball. Or he's too old to be that passionate about basketball. Listen, if Kyrie Irving was 23 and he played for the Oklahoma City Thunder, he'd be back in February. But he ain't either of those two things. I think the Rockets have good energy. The players they got rid of weren't really locker room guys. I mean, Dylan Brooks was, but I imagine he brings probably a lot of weight. He probably brings as much weight as he does levity in that locker room. He can have a bit of a bad attitude, but I think Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, those guys like each other. Reed Shepherd seems like a sweetheart. Alperen Sengun, love him. Fred VanVleet re-signing. Steven Adams re-signing. All good vibe guys. Kevin Durant, I don't know how it's going to work, but I don't think he's going to be the alpha dog there. I think it's going to be like Amen and Alperen. I think Amen and Alperen are going to be the top dogs. And I don't think Alperen and Amen are looking at KD like, oh man, bro, I used to have your poster on my wall, bro. Man, I can't believe I'm playing. I don't think they're like that. I think they're just like, yeah, okay, we got Kevin Durant, proficient scorer. I think he's going to be pretty good for us. I think KD, they're not going to revere KD, and I think KD will get used to that pretty quickly. The Nugs, I'm still high on them. Even with the Josh Kroenke stuff, like, won't want to trade number 15. Don't want to be put in a position where we have to trade number 15, which is annoying. Like, what position is that? He's like, I don't want to spend into the luxury tax. It's like, bro, you're rich. You own Arsenal. You own the Avalanche. You own the Rams. Shut up. Rich people, like, I understand it's a business. They're like, well, it's a business, man. It's got to make money, right? I can't just spend into the luxury tax and be in the black or be in the red $300 million every year. All right, I understand it. But don't bring that up. Really, the mistakes you make is when you sign the guys. You sign Jamal Murray and you're like, here's your extension for, $50 million, $55 million, $60 million, year by year by year. And then you look at him, you're like, you're not worth it, but like, we won a championship, so I'm in a good mood. Then 2 years later, you're looking at that extension, you're like, oh man, I really like, when you're in the good mood in the moment, when you won the championship, you're like, yeah, take the money. You're awesome. We love you. And then 2 years later, you look at it and you're like, oh, this is it. I signed my death warrant, Same thing with MPJ. That's my thought on this. And then I think Booth and the Kroenkes thought, oh, well, Peyton Watson and Christian Brown, they'll turn into like as good of players as those. And that's too much to ask. The Knicks, I still think have really good energy, even though they did fire Thibodeau. I still think you got Hart, Brunson, and Mikal Bridges and OG all together. I think that's one of the best energy teams. Oh, I left Randall. I didn't realize Randall was in the slide because I thought it was Tracy Morgan. I thought it was just Tracy Morgan celebrating on the sideline. But Randall's in there too. That's embarrassing. I don't think the Knicks even make a move. I don't think they make a move this year. And I think Cat's going to be traded. How about that? You know what I think? Actually, I intentionally put Julius Randle in here because I think they're going to trade for Jew. I think they're going to trade for Jew, and they're going to trade Cat back to Minnesota. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm kidding. But I do think Cat's going to get traded. Of course, actually, I don't, because I thought he was going to get traded for KD, and now KD's a Rocket, so I don't know what's going to happen. Spurs. It's less fun talking about the good energy teams, isn't it? Spurs are obviously happy. They got Victor Wembanyama. I think they can be happy for a lifetime. Then they got the second-round pick. Talk about an embarrassment of riches, dude. Dylan Harper's all excited to be there. He's talking about, oh, man, I saw Tim Duncan. I saw Manu Ginobili walk in. I saw Greg Popovich. Tell me what other type of organization you could see that type of shit. None. So when a guy's talking about the team he just got drafted to like that, it's a positive sign. I don't even think they're going to make any deals this year. They're just going to go into it and see how it goes. Timberwolves, I still think. Ant isn't down. And that's what I appreciate about him. He's still excited about his team. He's still ready to rock. He's still ready to do it. He's positive. They're re-signing Naz Reid. They're excited about him. They like him a lot. The whole city loves him. Rudy is not a bad player. Even I think Rudy at this point, that contract, when everyone was thinking it was too big of a contract, enough time has passed now where the salary cap has gone up so far that Rudy's contract actually looks like a pretty decent contract. I think they're going to re-sign Jew because they love Jew. They love Jew. They love Nas. They're going to re-sign him. So if we're talking vibes, I imagine these guys are ready to hit summer camp, you know? These guys are ready to hang out. I think they're going to be good. I think Blazers are high energy. Look, we've got Young Hansen, Hansen Yang, okay? Doesn't speak English. He knows 3 words. He knows eat, sleep, PSP. I do not know how this works, man. I do not know how you have a person on your team who does not speak, like, in a pregame meeting, he has to be looking at the whiteboard and listening to Chauncey Billups talk and just be comprehending only what is drawn on the whiteboard. I don't know how it's going to go, but you're going to get some Chinese fans. You're going to get a lot of fans. There's a lot of people in China, and they're going to buy Yang Hansen jerseys. And they got Tumani. Tumani's one of the league's hottest young players. I feel okay saying that. He's cute too. He's hot. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on. So tired, I'm horny. Thunder. Of course. Gotta say the vibes are good there. They even talked, even at the parade, they were like excited about their owner. They're like proud of Clay Bennett. And they got this team for another year. No one needs traded. They got cap space. They got everything. No need to fret. Pistons, aside from Malik Beasley, did you hear about that? He's under investigation from the Attorney General. This isn't even a league investigation. This is from the Attorney General is investigating gambling and point shaving. And they were in the middle of extension talks because he's a free agent. And those are paused for the time being. But this seems serious. Other than that, good young core guys. Duran's great. I think he's one of the most underrated centers in the league. I'll throw that out there. All right, the battery's about to die, and this video has been really long, and I'm going to have to restart the camera soon. So I'm going to kind of fly through these. But, you know, these good vibe teams, there's a little less nuance to talk about. I think people are going to be excited about the Magic. I mean, I love Anthony Black. Anthony Black seems to be having a lot of fun out there. A lot of smiles on this team. Suggs, Banchero, Franz. We got the bros on the team. We got the Wagner bros. I mean, working with your brother's fun. It can be annoying. I'll tell you. I was in a band with my brother for a little bit. Got annoying. But still, I loved him. And it's nice to work with people you love. Pacers. This is the most romantic team. How can you not be romantic about basketball? Right? Even with Halliburton now, it's a little bit of, I think they're going to grow together. I think they're going to connect through this. They're going to trauma bond over the Achilles snap of Tyrese Halliburton. And I think they're going to make the playoffs next year. I don't think we're going to see Tyrese at all next year. I don't think they're going to even try to bring him back for the playoffs. But I don't think they're going to tank. I don't even know if they have their pick, to be honest. But I don't think they're going to tank for the following season. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this team. Patreon. There's a Patreon. The battery's about to die. And the camera's about to reach the end of its cycle. But there's a Patreon. Got more into the Pelicans trade. Talked more about Ace Bailey. And I talked about Allen Iverson. I talked a little bit about Allen Iverson at the end. Be good to your mothers. Eat a corn dog.